All right, two little short things about mirrors here before I finish. Um, One is on the Unity Asset Store, there is Magic Mirror Light uh, that is a fairly clever implementation of a single mirror. It doesn't do recursion. Uh, you have to pay 20 bucks if you want a version that does recursion. And even then, it only handles two mirrors. So my mirror room is still impossible. But let me just fairly quickly show you it because it's pretty slick. It uses a render to texture kind of idea, a cube map idea, um, but it handles all of the geometry with shaders, which is beyond uh, my understanding of it. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you that there is a free tool that will make a single nice mirror. And that's all very cool. The other thing I want to show you is the rear view mirror. I had some racing cars that were driving around, and uh, I wanted to be able to see who was catching up with me behind. So I thought, well, that's easy enough. I'll just put a backwards facing camera in whatever camera I'm using, and render that as a picture in picture, and that'll be the camera that faces out the back. But instead, this is what I ended up with. This is the this is the one that's done by just pointing a camera out the back of the camera that goes with my car. And you can immediately see that there's a problem here in that the green things are on the right, whereas they're on the left in the world. And so what you really want is to flip the image horizontally so that the green is on the left and the red is on the right, and and things work the way they should. And it turns out that you can do this fairly simply. This is the mirror camera trick. Sorry about that. I've got um, I've got my camera that I get component, and then I have pre-cull, on pre-render, and on post-render with some camera magic here that I'll explain as we go along here. So first of all, the on pre-render is an event that is fired before any camera starts rendering. And in this case, what I do before I render is swap the back facing, set revert back facing to true. So this is going to reverse the windedness of any of the triangles so that the proper face is displayed. On post render is the event that's fired after any camera has finished rendering. And I'm just going to set revert back facing back to its default value of force. So this is this inverts backface culling. Backface culling is why we can only see one side of a plane, because we can't see the back face of it. And this is true of almost all surfaces in Unity. Their back face is culled. And we set the back face and front face by how the triangles are wound, what the order is of the vertices of the triangle. This is all quite low level OpenGL stuff, and that's why we're using the GL class, which you can have a look at. But this changes the culling of triangles globally within our event, our camera. And we use this for reflections with mirrors, water, and other kinds of stuff. Um, on pre-cull is called before a camera culls the scene. So culling is where you throw away things that the camera can't see. And on pre-cull is called here. This is a good place to change camera's viewing parameters. For instance, if you change the field of view, this is the place to do it, since this is where the visibility of seen objects is determined. What we're doing in here, a couple of things. We're fiddling with the camera's projection matrix. And the projection matrix is how things are converted from 3D into 2D and rendered onto the screen. And this is the thing that makes perspective versus orthogonal views and other kinds of things. And so we're going to reset the world to camera matrix, which sets the rendering position to reflect the camera's position. So it's kind of setting it up for how it is when it starts. Resetting the projection matrix kind of sets it to its defaults. And then we're going to take that projection matrix and we're going to multiply it by a scaling matrix, a 4x4 scaling matrix. The reason it's 4x4 is for some magic that goes on in OpenGL and DirectX and any of the other rendering languages that are low-level stuff that we usually don't see in Unity. So taking my camera's projection matrix and setting it equal to my camera's projection matrix multiplied by this 4x4 scale matrix that scales by a vector -1 in the x, +1 in the y, and +1 in the z. So this is flipping the x right-hand direction of our objects and how they'll appear in the world. This 4x4 matrix just looks like this. It's the x, y, and z components along the diagonal and a 1 down here in the fourth for reasons that you don't need to know here. And that's all there is to it. That's on the camera. It's rendered here, reversed. Things are thrown to the other side. We've reversed the back facing of all of our triangles so that they appear, because otherwise they would not. Things would be turned inside out. We'd be seeing the inside of the cubes instead of the outside of the cubes. And so a cool trick, if you want to have rear view mirrors in your race cars, this is the trick to do it. So I'm going to stop sharing here and I'm going to end the recording and I'll see you all in class. Bye.